From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
Tonight on News Hour, federal government considers nationwide ban on motorcycles mining activities. Police arrest Kuje prison escapee along Adamawa-Borno border. Fuel price dynamics as petrol available but pricing still uncertain. Away from Nigeria, United States President Joe Biden tests positive for COVID-19. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust Television. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. And now the details. The federal government is considering restricting the use and distribution of motorcycles across the country to curb insecurity. Government believes that motorcycles are the most conventional means of logistics being deployed by terrorists. Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, revealed this to newsmen at the State House, Abuja, after Thursday's National Security Council meeting. According to Malami, government is also looking at blocking sources of funding terrorist operations and maybe suspending mining activities for the time being. Also briefing newsmen, Minister of Interior Rauf Aregbesola disclosed that a preliminary report of the investigation into the attack on the prison in Kuje, Abuja, had been sent to President Muhammadu Buhari. He explained that the report had identified all those whose actions or inactions led to the unfortunate incident, and they will face the consequences. Terrorists on Thursday morning invaded some communities after Kamapani Waya in Kontagora local government area of Niger State. Eyewitness accounts say that vehicles heading to Kontagora from Mina had to return after being warned by villagers to avoid being caught in the crossfire. Military troops have been mobilized to the road to arrest the situation, with villagers saying that some soldiers entered the communities to engage the terrorists. Staying with security matters, gunmen on Wednesday flagged down an 18-seater bus and abducted passengers on board at Ochonyi Omoko village along the Abuja-Lokoja highway in Kogi State. Daily Trust reports that a vigilante member who confirmed the incident, saying that they heard gunshots late Wednesday and they mobilized to the scene where they discovered a bus abandoned by the roadside without passengers inside. He said that they are still combing the forest to trace the gunmen and rescue the victims. As at the time of filing this report, spokesman of the Kogi State Police Command, DSP Williams Aya, did not respond to calls or a text message sent to him. The Adamawa State Police Command has arrested a Kuje prison escapee trying to relocate to Bama, his native home in Borno State. A statement by the Commissioner of Police, Sikiru Akonde, said that 23-year-old inmate Abubakar Muhammad, who is facing terrorism charges, was arrested along the Adamawa-Borno border. Akonde also said that the command had recovered weapons and arrested 12 suspected kidnappers and armed robbers in the state. In another development, the police in Benue State on Thursday said operatives arrested one Ebube Jude, who escaped from Kuje Custodial Center following the recent jailbreak. The spokesperson for the command, SP Catherine Anene, in a statement noted that detectives deployed to investigate the case arrested him along George Akume Way, Wurukum in Makurdi. Hundreds of demonstrators stormed the National Secretariat of the All Progressives Congress to register their grievances over the position of the party on its Muslim ticket. The demonstration, which was led by a few party members under the auspices of APC Hausa Fulani Youth Forum, declared that they will not stop protesting until the party does the right thing. Meanwhile, the Tinubu campaign organization says clergymen who attended Wednesday's unveiling of Senator Kashim Shettima as All Progressives Congress vice presidential candidate in Abuja were not fake, as being portrayed in the social media. Director, Media and Communication, Tinubu campaign organization, Bayo Onanuga, said in a statement on Thursday that the viral pictures and videos of some Christian clergy on social media were unwarranted distractions. Onanuga pointed out that the event was an open affair which allowed members of the public to attend, including the clergymen and some others now being derided by hirelings of the opposition. In the meantime, the crisis rocking the Rivers State chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has taken a new turn following resignation of some chieftains weeks after conduct of the Presidential and Governorship Congress. The publicity secretary of the APC in the state, Chris Finebone, described the recent resignation of some members as the usual self-cleansing mechanism of the party at work. The report.
After some back and forth movements to gain a foothold in APC in Rivers, Senator Magnus Abe, who represented Rivers South East Senatorial District between 2015 and 2019, has withdrawn from the party's membership. He said this will give him a chance to pursue his long-term bid to govern the state on another platform. The news of Abe's withdrawal from APC had been on social media since last week, before a letter of resignation purportedly signed by him and addressed to the party's national chairman, Abdullahi Adamu, went viral online. However, Senator Abe denied issuing such a letter on his Facebook page, but declined to reveal what political party he intends to join.
I have left the APC, but I didn't write any letter to resign. The constitution of the party says that if you join another party, your membership will end. So I've joined another party, so my membership will end. As I say, I didn't write any letter, so the letter is fake. But as to whether I've left the party, yes, I have left the party.
Reacting to the exit of Senator Abe and other party members, the publicity secretary of APC in the state, Chris Finebone, said his exit did not come as a surprise to them.
It recently came to our attention that Senator Abe and the few persons still with him had concluded plans to join the Social Democratic Party SDP, on whose platform Abe will run for governor. Hence, their persistent hype to the effect that Abe will be on the ballot come 2023. This press conference is essentially to explain to you and the public that Rivers APC considers the formal exit of Abe and his associates from the APC as good riddance. We liken it to a successful excision of a debilitating cancer from the body. Rivers APC can now heave a sigh of relief from the sustained destabilizing onslaught by Senator Abe.
He explained that the party made efforts to halt recent mass defections that hit its camp, but to no avail.
Staying with politics, wife of Kaduna State Governor Asiya El-Rufai has demanded for the position of Attorney General of the Federation for Women in the administration of Bola Tinubu. The governor's wife said this at a celebration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu by the All Progressives Congress Professional Women Council on Thursday in Abuja. She added that the positions of the Minister of Health, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President should also be reserved for women. She said that the progress of one woman will amount to the progress of all women in the country, and called on women to rally behind Tinubu's presidential ambition. A Kano cleric, Sheikh Abdul Jabbar Kabara, on Thursday prayed a Kano Upper Sharia Court to transfer his ongoing trial for alleged blasphemy to another judge. The Kano state government had charged Kabara with 4 counts bordering on blasphemous comments against Prophet Muhammad on August 10, October 25th, and December 20, 2029. When the matter was called, the defense counsel, Dalahatu Shehu Usman, was not in court. The defendant told the court that his counsel was not in court because he has written a letter to Grand Qadi of Kano State to transfer his ongoing trial to another court. The presiding judge, Ibrahim Sarikiola, adjourned the matter until July 28 for continuation of defense. You're watching Trust News Hour. Coming up shortly. Establishment of trailer motor park. Details and more after the break.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve the sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels. Leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Thanks for staying. You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. Here's a recap of our top stories. Federal government considers nationwide ban on motorcycles, mining activities. Police arrest Kuje prison escapee along Adamawa-Borno border. In other news, the Senate has passed the Electricity Bill 2022 to improve the utilization of generated power and solve the sector's challenges. The bill was passed on Wednesday after the consideration of a report by the Senate Committee on Power. The report.
Chairman of the committee, Senator Gabriel Suswam, said the bill seeks to, among others, provide an ideal legal and institutional framework to leverage on the modest gains of the privatization phase of the electricity power sector in Nigeria.
Mr. President, this one deals with situation where state, in the bill now, state can legally generate power, transmit and distribute without any hindrance. Any individual who have the capacity can do same. That is a new introduction in the bill. It has now opened up so that any individual who have the capacity can go and generate power, transmit it, and distribute it if we have the capacity to engage in transmission and distribution. That has been introduced now, and so Nigerians are free.
The Senate President, midway through consideration of the bill, sought to know the role and operational capacity of banks that had taken over distribution companies indebted to them.
Were taken over by some banks that this discourse owed so much money. that changes the landscape. Because banks, or let me say those banks, do not have the capacity, the wherewithal to run the discourse. What happens with our discourse now in the hands of banks? Are they going to privatize them again, or government should look into it and do the privatization once again?
Responding, Senator Suswam explains that the takeover of entities by banks was duly carried out in collaboration with the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission and Bureau of Public Enterprise. The Electricity Bill 2020, after a close-by-close consideration of the committee's report by the Committee of the Whole, was passed by the upper chamber.
Travelers along Maraban-Jos on Kaduna-Zaria Highway have commended the establishment of trailer motor park in the area, while the drivers welcomed opening of the trailer park, which has stopped indiscriminate parking on the highway by trailer drivers who usually stop over for rest. Traders along the road say that the development has affected their business. The report.
This is Maraban-Jos in Igadu local government area of Kaduna State. Trailer drivers and other long-distance travelers who usually stop over to rest once parked on this highway. This action by the road users disrupted free flow of traffic, resulting in accidents and other unpalatable incidents. This led to the building of this park at Maraban-Jos.
gaskiya yanzu alhamdulillah saboda sadda ba a samar da parking ba abu ne ba lissahi kowa ya parka inda tsaya yanzu alhamdulillah an tattara a wuri guda an samu jama'a abubuwa sannan mun samar da tsare-tsare nan kuma mun sa no parking mun kafa no parking in ka duba za ka gani ba guda ba malam ba a parking a wajen nan idan za ka shiga gareji ka shiga in kuma za ka wuce ka wuce.
If a trailer develops a fault on the highway, we make sure they use triangle sign to alert motorists. The drivers also want the government to build pedestrian bridges and establish fire service points in the park to deal with any case of fire outbreak. We have children and women who use the road every day, so we call on government to build pedestrian bridge and to construct old garage due to large number of trailers. We want government to establish fire service office in the park. In case fire outbreak occurs, the service will quench the fire. The park has two phases, and we are now using phase 1. Therefore, we want government to complete the construction of the phase 2 to accommodate large number of trailers coming to the garage every day. While the drivers welcome the building of the trailer park, traders say the relocation of the park has affected their business.
Before, we cook many bags of rice, but now we barely finish 1 bag a day.
I used to make sales of 100,000 in a day, but now I hardly make 10,000 in a day. The resident also revealed that the influx of drivers and traders from within and beyond Nigeria, though good for business, also has some negative implications. The promiscuous living here contributes to the spread of sexual-related disease in this community. People come from different places, including Niger Republic. Promiscuity is high, and most women here are vulnerable because they have no means of livelihood. They appeal to government to fast-track the construction of Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Highway to reduce the rate of accident along the road.
Commercial tricycle business in Kano, also known as the Adaidaita Sahu, has been on the rise since 2005. The Adaidaita Sahu business, which has continued to provide employment opportunities and generate revenue for the state, has been linked to a series of criminal activities, which led to the ban of tricycle operation between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. in the commercial city by the state government. The report.
Despite the huge social and economic benefits of the industry, tricycle riders have become a threat to the commercial center where tricycles are used to commit atrocious crimes. The industry has also been alleged to have distorted the security situation of the state, thereby causing a lot of harm in the system. Crimes such as phone snatching, thuggery, armed robbery, and kidnapping were allegedly linked to the operators of these tricycles. It is for these and other reasons that the Kano state government banned the operations of Adedita between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. effective from 21st July 2022. However, the directive is receiving mixed reactions.
We will never, in any circumstances, go against government. But at the same time, we have to cooperate with government to avoid a situation where things will be difficult for government. Because if it is difficult for government, it's difficult for us as individuals as well. But if it is free for government, it is free for us.
It's okay, but it's not that okay. Because people that travel for a journey, when you come back, for you to get to your different destination, it will not be easy. Because there is no taxi in Kano. The easy way to get home is to get PEP, Keke Napep.
I think it's a good idea because the way things are going on in the area, sometimes if you enter Keke as from that 10, it's very risky because if you enter the Keke, you don't know the real person that is driving it along the line. Maybe if you are the only one inside the Keke, they may ask you for maybe your property, bring your phone with harmful objects.
This banner of Adedita, it really affects people's life. And this Adedita also, they have some implications because they used to do some bad things.
So this thing where government won't do us, that this time where the government won't give us, the time they affect our work. I beg, maybe not go help us to beg the government, maybe we just leave from till 12 o'clock or after 1 o'clock so that we go pay the money for our keke.
Kano State Commissioner for Information, Malam Muhammad Garba, in a statement said, the decision to ban tricycle at the given time is part of efforts to ensure the security of lives and property in the state.
Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai on Wednesday presented the sum of 219 million naira to 3 tertiary institutions as full payment of tuition fees for over 1,200 indigent students. The sum, which covers fees from start to graduation for the 1,251 benefiting students, was done under the Kaduna State Government's Merit and Need-Based Scholarship Scheme. The approved fund is also in furtherance of the government's commitment to ensure that every child gets the compulsory 12 years of basic education free. While beneficiaries welcome the initiative, the state government has also included an education endowment fund in the new education bill, which will be applied for education development in the state.
And people like me to be able to graduate, not to drop out from the school.
Going to school has been really hard, and I'm here with my father, Mr. Joseph Tankunok. He's a contract security man at the Kaduna State University here in Kaduna, and my mother is a petty trader.
We have approved the immediate payment of the sum of 524 million to qualified students. The good news is, going forward, all qualified merit and indigent students will have their complete tuition fee till graduation paid directly to the institutions. The government has also disbursed about 819 million in education loans to 509 beneficiaries for payments of tuition fee and upkeep in local and foreign tertiary institutions. We hope as soon as the law is passed, we'll have the endowment fund launched. We'll constitute a board of trustees to manage the funds independent of government, and these funds will only be applied for educational development in the states. I want to state that with the enactment of this education bill, Parents and guardians whose children are not in school will be prosecuted and jailed without the option of fine. Any child found roaming the street will be traced to his parents or guardians, and the parents or guardians will be prosecuted, because there is no excuse for a child roaming the street if 12 years of education is free.
Kaduna State University will be paid 158.53 million for 755 students, with Kaduna State College of Education, Gidanwaya, receiving 33.45 million for 317 students, and New Bamali Polytechnic receiving 27.6 million for 179 students.
The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board and other stakeholders in education have agreed on the minimum cutoff point for admission into tertiary institutions in Nigeria. It was also unanimously agreed at the 2022 policy meeting that 140 will be the minimum cutoff point for admission into a university. 100 points was voted for polytechnics and monotechnics, while 80 was voted for colleges of education. The cutoff point was the collective decision of all heads of tertiary institutions, both private and public, taken at the 2022 policy meeting chaired by the Minister of Education Adamu in Abuja. JAMB Registrar Ishaq Oloyede explained that the aforementioned points are the minimum. He added that the points do not mean that institutions must comply wholly to them. In a similar vein, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has announced that an indigene of Ekiti, Adebayo Eimofe, scored the highest mark in the 2022 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination with 362. Adebayo wrote the examination in one of the computer-based test centers in Abuja. Registrar of JAMB, Ishaq Oloyede, disclosed this at the ongoing 2022 policy meeting of the board holding at the International Conference Center in Abuja. The National Association of the Small and Medium Enterprise has organized a youth empowerment forum as part of activities to commemorate the 2022 National Youth Day. Speaking at the event, the president and chairman of the governing council of the association, Abdurrashid Yerima, charged youth to be creative to enable them make positive impacts in the country. Musa Luka reports.
Yerima said the vision of the National Association of Small and Medium-Scale Enterprises, NASME, is to be the voice of Nigerian entrepreneurs advocating for conducive operating environment while partnering with MSME promoters to ensure the emergence of large pool of viable and technological empowered MSMEs in Nigeria.
The MSME Youth Empowerment Conference is aimed at providing an interactive forum for dialogue between young entrepreneurs representing the youth business community and policymakers as well as development organizations to discuss the need to invest in young people's transition, work and citizenship, given the significant roles of young people as agents for positive social and economic change.
He added that the conference is to sensitize the youth on the ways to secure financial assistance from financial institutions to enable set up an enterprise.
The Nigerian youth are full of energy, full of initiatives, highly intelligent people. So the enterprise challenge is an opportunity that is available for them to have access to finance, technical support, so that they can also access local, national, and global markets.
The North Central Vice President of NASME, Ajishefini Ayodeji, commended the level of participation by the youth across the country. Ayodeji, who is also the Secretary General for Northern Zone, added that NASME is there to support both intending small and medium-scale entrepreneurs as well as those that want to expand their businesses.
We discovered that no more white-collar job. The best job in Nigeria today is either blue or green. And how do we mean vocationals, self-development? Let's encourage the youth, because that's the only economy sector that can provide the job we are expecting in Nigeria.
Some participants thank NASME for supporting them and pledged to justify such investment.
Hardly any youth in this country that is not entrepreneurship in nature. Some are born entrepreneurs while others are circumstantial entrepreneurs. When you graduate and you can't get yourself a job, the next thing is to turn into entrepreneurship. And that has been keeping a lot of people going, and more youths are out there waiting for the right support to get them into entrepreneurship. So that's why we're trying to use this avenue to get more and more youths off the streets of Nigeria to embrace entrepreneurship as the way to go.
This is something that will give the youth an advantage to explore their talent. It is the first of its kind.
Musa Luka, Trust TV News, Abuja.
We'll now take a quick break. The news hour continues shortly. Please.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
That's great.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Welcome back. You're watching the news on Trust Television. Now moving on, a civil society group is partnering the Federal Capital Territory original inhabitants with disabilities in a bid to provide resources for training and equipping 200 grantees with requisite skills for wealth creation across the 6 area councils of the FCT. Speaking during the signing ceremony in Abuja, the group explained that the partnership agreement falls under its earlier project of promoting the rise of FCT original inhabitants, which it has been signing with its cohort members to the tune of 800 million naira. It said that 40 million naira will be made available to the inhabitants through the agreement, which is expected to facilitate the procurement of work equipment, tool and construction of workshops for the inhabitants.
Have workshop, and given their challenges and where to train them, it will be very difficult to be moving them out from their station. So we feel that for sustainability purpose, it is better to create a workspace for them and store it with all kind of tools, so that they, instead of just paying consultant outside, taking them out to go and learn, they now have their own outfit, so they can train themselves. They can on all kind of skills that they feel is important to them, so that they can be self-reliant, and at the same time they can fit into employment system.
We are saying thank you to the Christ-Aid Center in collaboration with MacArthur Foundation. We accept everything and we agree everything, and we are ready to, abide by the rules and regulation of what it takes for us to get this project on place.
Over 100 healthcare workers have been engaged to manage issues of maternal health in rural communities across the 20 local government areas of Bauchi State to address the inadequacy of health personnel in the state. The State Ministry of Health disclosed this during an orientation training at the School of Nursing and Midwives in Bauchi. Adamu Imam reports.
The program is in response to the lack of adequate basic healthcare workers in various health facilities in the state. Some of the engaged health workers, who are mostly nurses and midwives, are sure of their readiness to serve their state, irrespective of the community they are posted to.
To do my all best in rendering the services needed in the community where I am posted, and where I cannot handle, I am ready to refer the patients to a secondary facility where she will be taken care.
We are really happy that we have been called to render services, a service of helping women in pregnancy throughout the period when pregnancy has been established until the time of delivery.
Earlier, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Ali Babayo, said the program is carried out under the National Basic Healthcare Provision Fund to bridge the manpower gap in the health sector. Babayo, who noted that the engagement is on merit, added that they will be posted to rural communities in their local government areas to serve.
So what we want in Bauchi State, we're going to ensure that the best hands are recruited. It's not anybody with this individual certificate that will be allowed to operate in the hospital. We have to interview them and ensure that what they are going to do, actually their certificate could be defended. Even the certificate has to be defended by the person through the interviews. We have to bring experts to rigorously examine them and ensure that they earn that certificate and that they are equal to the task before they are allowed to tamper with the lives of our people in the state.
The ministry is sure of addressing issues around welfare and allowance before posting them to the various communities. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
The Zamfara state government is to partner the United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, and other relevant stakeholders to tackle cholera disease in the state. The executive secretary of the state's primary health care board, Ismail Tukur, disclosed this to journalists in Gusau, the state capital, shortly after a meeting with stakeholders on interventions in cholera-prone areas in the state.
The stakeholders meeting, which is at the instance of the Zamfara State Primary Healthcare Board, is to heighten preparedness and strengthen prevention against cholera outbreak in the state. At the inception meeting were representatives of the United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, TOYING, ADISA, State's Ministry of Environment, Rural Water and Sanitation Agencies, RUASA, among others. The Executive Secretary of the Zamfara State Primary Healthcare Board, Dr. Ismail Tukur, said the meeting is also to review data to identify where there are a high number of cases and possible causative factors so that intervention can be tailored towards those areas. Dr. Tukur explained that stakeholders have put machinery in motion to cover hard-to-reach communities with health intervention and awareness.
The objective of this meeting is to ensure that the preparedness against cholera outbreak is being strengthened in the state, and also to have an inception meeting of a fund known as PEPO Fund, which is going to support this preparedness plan for prevention of cholera outbreak. So this is virtually what is happening. We are having an inception meeting and also a continuation of our preparedness plan against the cholera outbreak prevention plans.
The General Manager of the Zamfara State Rural Water and Sanitation Agency, RUASA, Saniyaru, said the agency is currently building over 24 boreholes with an additional 30 solar motorized boreholes to ensure it provides safe drinking water to residents of the state.
I've allowed the airport to be part of this meeting, and on the part of the airport, the government is doing to ensure that there is safe drinking water across the state. We have a plan that we are going to do boreholes. Presently, more than 20 boreholes are going to be drilled, 30 new solar motorized boreholes. And part of this meeting we are holding, which has to do with the additional funding we are receiving from UNICEF, which is the European humanitarian aid that is funding the program.
The health intervention against cholera outbreak in Zamfara State is necessary due to insecurity, which created a humanitarian crisis that has left several persons displaced.
The Nigerian Ports Authority says that 5 out of the 24 ships expected at Lagos ports are laden with petrol, which means that the product will be readily available at fuel stations. The NPA, in its daily shipping position, added that the ships were expected to arrive at the Lagos port complex between the 20th and 31st of July. Despite the availability of the product, its costing still remains an issue as petrol marketers adopted a new price regime on Tuesday, which they say was approved by the federal government. Kehinde Amodu looks at developments on fuel in this report.
President Muhammadu Buhari unveiled the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited on Tuesday, describing it as a commercially driven and independent national oil company.
On the 1st of July 2022, I authorized transfer of assets from the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation to its successor company, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, and steered the implementation leading to the unveiling of Africa's largest national oil company today.
It is expected that as part of its new mandate, the new company will grow its fuel retail presence across the country. Group Chief Executive Officer of the NNPCL, Mele Kyari, explained what this would entail.
We have taken a strategic initiative to achieve our mandate of ensuring energy security for our country.
by rolling out a comprehensive expansion plan to grow our fuel retail presence from the 547 to over 1,500 outlets within the next 6 months.
Nigerians will be particularly concerned about how this new strategy will impact on prices of fuel in stations across the country. Most of the independent petroleum marketers are at present selling between 170 and 200 naira per litre in complete disobedience of federal government directives. And on Tuesday, a regional price list was adopted which proposed to sell petrol between 165 naira and 179 naira per litre in the southwest, south-south and southeast parts of the country. The price was raised to 184 naira per litre in the northwest and 189 naira per litre in the northeast, being a 24 naira increase, the highest in the new adjustment. The petrol will now sell at 179 naira per litre in the north-central region. Although the product will sell for 169 naira per litre in Lagos, marketers will sell at 174 naira per litre in Abuja. The Nigeria Midstream Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, which is responsible for price adjustments, is yet to react. Operators have, however, gone ahead to unilaterally increase petroleum price from between 165 naira per litre to 179 naira per litre. It remains to be seen how the NNPCL's plans will affect prices of fuel going forward. Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In its efforts to curb smuggling along the Idiroko border, Axis, the Nigeria Customs Service Ogun 1 Command, said it has intercepted a luxury passengers bus loaded with 375 bales, smuggled textiles, 42 trailer loads of foreign parboiled rice, and 9 tanker loads of PMS in the last 6 months. Bamidele Makinde, the Customs Controller, Ogun 1 Area Command, disclosed this in Abeokuta on Wednesday while briefing newsmen. Trust TV's Abbas Ibrahim Alibi reports.
According to Controller Bamidele Makinde, the huge quantity of seized items, if allowed into Nigerian markets, would be disastrous to the federal government policy on local rice production and the economy of the nation.
The command has been able to record a spectacular seizure of 25,960 bags of foreign parboiled rice of 50 bags each, equivalent of 43 trailer loads. This huge quantity, if allowed into the Nigerian market, will be disastrous to the federal government policy on local rice production and the economy of the nation.
He said during the period under review, the command generated a total sum of 29,940,146 naira 50 kobo from import duties and auction sales of premium motor spirits seized from smugglers, adding that a comparative analysis of the command's performance during the period under review and half year of 2021 indicates a significant increase in revenue collection and value of seizure recorded.
During the period under review, the command generated a total sum of 29,940,146 naira and 50 kobo from import duties and auction sales of premium motor spirits seized from smugglers. There are several other seizures recorded in various quantities during the same period, which include frozen poultry products, 1,433 cartons, used vehicles, foreign used and means of conveyance, including Marco Polo POS, which is 72 units, used motorcycles used as means of conveyance, 20 units, illicit drugs, 1,400 packets, 2,250 sachets of tramadol, and 168 packets of codeine.
He added that the command was able to make these achievements due to the continued stakeholders' engagement and management deployment of intelligence in all the operations across the state, as well as structural reorganization of the command and improved motivation of officers by the Nigerian Customs Service management, as exemplified by the operational vehicles allocated to the command recently and the provision of accommodation in various outstations within the command.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, will on Friday, July 22nd, arraigned a former Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, before Justice Adeyemi Ajayi of the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Abuja. According to a statement by the head, Media and Publicity of EFCC, Wilson Owujaren, Idris is to be docked alongside Godfrey Olusegun Akindele, Mohammed Kudu Usman, and Gezawa Commodity Market and Exchange Limited on a 14-count charge of stealing and criminal breach of trust to the tune of 109.4 billion naira. The federal government has so far released the sum of 4.7 trillion naira to finance expenditure in the 2022 budget. This is according to the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed. The minister disclosed this on Thursday at a consultative forum on the 2023-2025 medium-term fiscal framework in Abuja. The 17 trillion naira 2022 budget was signed into law on December 31st last year by President Muhammadu Buhari.
NNPCL, formerly known as NNPC, has been restructured into a commercial venture which the federal government believes will strengthen the capacity and market relevance of Nigeria's oil industry. According to President Muhammadu Buhari, NNPCL will operate free from institutional regulations such as the Treasury Single Account, Public Procurement and Fiscal Responsibility Act. President, National Association for Energy Economics, Professor Yinka Omorugbe, breaks this down.
NNPC is now going to be running like a commercial enterprise in line with commercial considerations. So this should mean that NNPC is no longer like a cash cow that the government goes to when it needs something. It means that it should be able to operate commercially, having its own money, delivering returns to the government, acting on behalf of its shareholder. Its shareholder is the government. Okay. But you know that many of us don't realize that the government really works for us. That's what it's supposed to be. So that's why you find they're saying, oh, 200 million Nigerians, so to speak. So it should be delivering returns. It should be delivering maximum returns and maximum benefits. Its subsidiaries should now be functioning optimally and actually generating revenue.
Professor Omorugbe also speaks on the possibility of privatization in the future.
If one looks at the Petroleum Industry Act and you look at the portion on NNPC, you'll see that NNPC, there is a provision that is allowing shares to be sold in NNPC, and that will happen gradually. But what it is now is commercialization. Commercialization is basically a company acting more in alignment with commercial considerations and acting more like a standard company. So you see it's NNPC Limited. It's actually a Karma company. It actually means that it can be regulated. We will see whether that is really so if we see a sanction imposed on NNPC.
Energy expert Yabagi Yusuf Sani expressed reservation on the impact of the restructuring of the oil company on the lives of average Nigerians.
Something built on nothing, how do you expect anything to come out of it? It's fraud. We have been taking for a ride in this country for too long. So that's why I say it's a fraud. It's a fraud that is being perpetuated in this country, and then we're laughing stock to the whole world. They know, they're laughing at us because they know what is happening. They don't run their systems like this. I'm telling you that even companies like Shell, Mobil, and what have you, they run their system under an ICT environment so that checks and balances will take place, so that they know exactly what is happening. We don't know in this country. Nothing will be different. In fact, it is not going to be more entrenched. That's what they are trying to do. So they take your attention away from what they are trying to do. And it is true. I'm telling you the basic things, the fundamentals, which are there. I'm not just saying it. Go and check. Anybody can go and check. They'll see all these things. From the PIA, the fraudulent PIA that was passed, to the NNPCL that they are deceiving Nigerians, that is now their company. I don't know. When I don't have 1 naira, how does it become my company? You know.
Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And now away from Nigeria, the White House on Thursday announced that U.S. President Joe Biden has tested positive for COVID-19. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre in a statement said that the president, who is fully vaccinated and twice boosted, is experiencing very mild symptoms. She said he has begun taking Paxlovid, a standard course of treatment for people who are considered to be at high risk of adverse effects of COVID-19, including anyone over 50. According to Jean-Pierre, Biden will isolate at the White House and will continue to carry out all of his duties while in isolation. Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi has submitted his resignation to President Sergio Mattarella after key coalition parties withdrew their support for his government. In a statement on Thursday, the president's office said that Mattarella had taken note of the resignation and asked Draghi's government to remain in a caretaker capacity. The resignation opens the way for early elections in September or October. The statement by the president's office did not specify whether Mattarella will dissolve parliament or call snap polls. Let's now take a look at sports updates put together by Adeni Ajishafe.
Nigeria's representative in the CAF Women Champions League, Bayelsa Queens, will face a tough draw in the WAFU B qualifiers. Bayelsa Queens qualified to represent Nigeria after emerging winner of the Super 6 competition held in Edo State. Nigerian side was placed in Group B alongside Ampem Dakwa of Ghana, USFA of Burkina Faso, and Atleta of Togo. Group A consists of 3 teams, including AS Abidjan, AS Police Niger Republic, and Espoir FC of Benin Republic. The qualifier will take place in Côte d'Ivoire from August 13 to 28, with the winner representing the region in Morocco. And still in football, as Nigeria under-20 women's team prepares for 2022 World Cup in Costa Rica, captain of the team, Dimen Oluwatosin, says the team is prepared to face any team standing on their way to winning the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Costa Rica. The man says Falconets are going to the World Cup to lift the trophy as preparations are going well, with players playing according to instructions. In Group C, Nigeria will face France on Thursday, August 11 at San Jose Estadio Nacional, before the lock-ons with Korea on Sunday, August 14 at the Alajuela Morata Soto Stadium. At the same venue, Nigeria faces Canada on August 22nd. Only 4 countries, namely Germany, Brazil, USA, and Nigeria, have played in all editions of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup since inception as Under-19 Championship in Canada 20 years ago. Germany and USA have both won the championship twice, while Nigeria have reached the final twice, losing to Germany in 2010 and 2014. Africa's other flag bearer, Ghana, have reached FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup on 5 previous occasions, crashing out at the group stage each time. The 2022 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup will kick off on 10th August and ends on 28th August. That's Sport News. I am Adeni Ajishafe.
With that, we wrap up the news hour. You can watch more via all our social media platforms, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching.